Hi, Courtney. How are you? Hi, Courtney. Hey, Cody. How are y'all?
I'm good. I think my stuff's working. Okay. It's
Can
big.
y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is my,
I can turn up if I need to.
why my background?
Y'all hear me okay? Hello,
Yep.
Ricardo. How are you?
Now you gotta fix my stuff.
It's good to see y'all. So I have a bell ringer for you guys. Y'all get to be the first ones to do it. I have a little quote up here.
I'm wearing a green shirt. No wonder it's not going through.
Oh, because it's
Whoops.
no worries. So I have a bell ringer up for you guys. If y'all would take a look at this quote by Albert Einstein and hop in chat and just let me know what it means to you guys. Hello, Brandon. Hey, Chris. It's good to see you.
Hi.
Welcome, Brandon. You're pretty new, right? You just joined a little while ago. Is that right?
Join the class or PLI?
PLI?
Last year about this, a little bit later,
Oh, okay.
March or so.
All right. I must be confusing you with another name. I help onboard some of our new teachers, so you must have a similar name. Hi, Deborah.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, it's good to see you. So
Thank
I have
you.
a bell ringer up for us. I have a quote by Albert Einstein. If you would, hop in chat and just let me know what this quote means to you. Love is a better teacher than duty. Hello, Brittany. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Hi, Shelley.
Hello. Good to see y'all. Hello, Janie. Hi, Marcy. It's good to see y'all. Hello, Nicole. So I have a bell ringer up for you guys. If you would, hop in chat and let me know what this quote means to you. Love is a better teacher than duty. Albert Einstein. Hello, Mari Carmen. Did I say that correctly? Is it Mari Carmen? Can you hear me okay? Miss Torres, can you hear me?
There she goes.
Can you hear me okay, Mari Carmen? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, you're saying it correctly.
Okay, awesome, awesome. It's so good to see you all. Hey, Stephanie. So as you're logging on, I have a bell ringer for you all. I have a quote. If you would, hop in chat and let me know what this quote means to you. If you were to read this quote, what does it mean for you? Oh, I like that, Brandon.
Yeah, good.
Another good
Brandon.
one. Yes, for sure. I love it. Along the same lines. I like that. Good comparisons. Absolutely. Hey, Peggy. It's good to see you. Hey, Audra. So I have a bell ringer up for you guys that just joined. If you would just hop in chat and let me know what this means to you. As a teacher, when you read this quote, what does it mean to you? Anyone?
Than duty.
Duty reminds, English is not my first language, so duty reminds me of like obligation.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
So when we love what we do, it's not an obligation, it becomes a pleasure. So
Absolutely.
all the requirements to be a better teacher, it gets there because love covers all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. So if you want to share, you can go ahead and unmute your microphones. This is something we do with our students. Just give them the opportunity to unmute. Thank you so much, Ms. Eggert. Beautifully said. Anyone else? I see we've got a couple of comments in chat. We've got about 2:59. We're going to start right on time today. Need to show that you care. Absolutely. Oh, so true, Janie. They'll remember how we treat them much more than what we teach them, for sure. They're motivated, Courtney. Absolutely. All good points. Creating relationships, absolutely, Stephanie. Letting them know you're there for them. Hi guys, as you're coming in, hello Michelle, hey Megan, hey Christy. It's good to see you guys. If y'all would, just hop in chat and let us know what this quote means to you. Love is a better teacher than duty. Good point. Absolutely. Great thoughts, guys. Hello, Brittany. Welcome. It's good to see you. If you would, those of you that are just joining us, hello, Samantha. If y'all would, just hop in chat and let me know what this quote means to you. Hi, Carrie. It's good to see you. Hi, Patricia. Welcome. Good point. Hi, Megan. So good to see you all. Hey, Angie. How's y'all's weeks going? Your week going? Good. I see some thumbs up. I like it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, so-so. Any so-so thumbs? Hectic. I like that, Ricardo. If you love what you're doing, the kids will know. So true, right? We can't get anything by them. They're pretty savvy. Absolutely. Hello, Carolina. Hello, Brenda. It's good to see y'all. We are responding to the quote. I have a bell ringer for you guys. If you would just hop in chat and tell me what it means to you. Hello, Marcia. It's good to see you. Got about 31 with us today. It's pretty good. I want to thank Brittany for being here as our interpreter. So true, Angie. Fostering those relationships and ensuring students and the TAs. What a good point. That we're interested and we care. So how many of you felt like the first day your TA was like, yay, proximity, so glad you're here? We kind of have to earn that respect, right? We've got to show them, yes, we're on the screen, but we care just as much as you do. We're going to put in the hard work to make those students successful. We kind of have to earn their respect a little bit and show them, prove to them that we're for real. Hello, Andrea. It's good to see you. If I'm pronouncing anyone's name incorrectly, please tell me. That's so important. Hello, Victoria. Hello, Virginia. So glad you guys are with me. The time is 3:03 now, and I believe we need to get started.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. I believe we need to get started on time today for sure. We are going to have a drawing, but I'm not sure when we're going to take attendance. Ms. Shanna, I'm going to let you make that decision. We're going to have a drawing for a prize, and you guys are all in it because you are here. Thank you all so much for joining me today. And thanks for participating in our bell ringer. My name is Shelly Fisher. I'm one of the core department heads, and it is my pleasure to pop into your class now and then and learn things from you and share out with the rest of the group and support you in any way that you need. Today we're going to be talking about bell ringers, connections, and a close. And we're just going to talk about those things very specifically. We're two-dimensional, right? We're on the screen, so we have to do everything we can to be 3D to our kiddos. So hopefully today you'll have some ideas about how to do that. All right, well, let's get started. Okay, 1 second. Okay. So we've been talking a little bit about Mr. Einstein with his quote. Can you all see my slides okay? Just want to make sure. Everybody can see them okay? Okay, great. All right, so what do you guys know about Albert Einstein? Just drop something in chat. What do you guys already know about him? There's a lot of information out there. Some of it's accurate, some of it may not be so accurate. What do we know about Albert Einstein? Okay, he's a dropout. Theory of relativity, yes. Oh, I love it, Carrie. Bringing in the equation. Good point, Patricia. He was told he wasn't very smart. He's a genius. He's known for his math. I like it, Angie. A mover and a shaker. He was chalked up as a failure early on. His birthday, yes, Pi Day, March 14th, 3.14. I love that. We celebrate that with pizza at my house. Oh, Marcia says he's her hero. The thought explored like a child. I love it. Yes. Calculus, Mari Carmen, dropped out of school. He was smart. I love it. All right. So there's a lot of conceptions, maybe some misconceptions about Mr. Einstein out there. Let's take a look at what the History Channel says about Mr. Einstein. Let's see. Here's a nice picture of him. He was very young, cute kid. Do I have anyone who would volunteer to read our first paragraph? Because we're going to explore, is it true that Einstein was a lousy student? Before we do that, give me a thumbs up if you felt like he was a lousy student. Give me a thumbs down if he was a good student. What do you think? I guess I should have done that back the other way, right? So is it true that Einstein was a lousy student? Yes. Thumbs up if you think yes. Okay. Is it true that Einstein was a lousy student? Give me thumbs down for no. Okay. All right. All right. Do I have anyone who would volunteer to read? Someone's in chat. Let's see. I will cough. Okay. That's okay, Peggy. Thank you anyway. Do I have any volunteers? Don't want to make anyone read without them volunteering. Any hands? I may have to make Miss Shanna read. Oh, I've got 2 participants raising their hand. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Kelly Cheney. Good to see you. Kelly, will you unmute and read that first paragraph for us?
Is it true that Einstein was a lousy student? In some ways, yes. When he was very young, Einstein's parents worried that he had a learning disability because he was very slow to learn to talk. He also avoided other children and had extraordinary temper tantrums.
Interesting. So we could definitely make some connections to what we already know about Einstein and maybe some things we didn't know. I wasn't aware of the extraordinary temper tantrums, but I can imagine he was a bit frustrated, and we can make some connections there between the fact that he was slow to learn to talk. And I've read a lot of research about that. Students who are incredibly bright are slow to talk. I've been reading some things about that. Thank you, Kelly. Do I have another volunteer for paragraph 2? We are exploring whether Einstein was a lousy student or not. Any hands? And you can raise your hand or you can use the option. Anyone? Okay. Let's see. Mari Carmen, would you read second paragraph for us? Thank you.
When he started school, he did very well. He was a creative and persistent problem solver, but he hated the rote, disciplined style of the teacher at his Munich school, and he dropped out when he was 15. Wow.
Very good. Thank you, Mari Carmen. So I don't know how many of you knew that he dropped out when he was 15. I did see some comments in chat that you were aware that he dropped out, but I don't know that I was aware he was 15 when he dropped out. Interesting. All right, how about our third paragraph? Could someone read the third paragraph? Let's see. Andrea, go ahead and unmute. Did I say that correctly? Is it Andrea or Andrea?
Said it correctly, Andrea. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can. Thank you for reading.
All right. Then, when he took the entrance exam for the Polytechnic School in Zurich, he flunked. He passed the math part, but failed the botany, zoology, and language sections. Einstein kept studying and was admitted to the Polytechnic Institute the following year. But even then, he continued to struggle. His professors thought that he was smart, but much too pleased with himself, and some doubted that he would graduate. He did, but not by much, which is how the young physicist found himself working in the Swiss patent office instead of at a school or university.
Thank you so much, Andrea. So some new information there. How many of you had read that he was kind of maybe just a little bit full of himself? Were any of you aware of that? You can hop in chat, give me a thumbs up. Is that something that we already knew? Okay, so people are raising their hands. Absolutely. So how many of you knew that he worked in the Swiss Patent Office? Any idea about that? Some people, 2 people raised their hands. So interesting information. So we can make some connections now. So let's look at Einstein's quote, and let's think about him as a child early on in school. And then also let's think about him as a teacher when he became a teacher as well. Let's make some connections between the quote and his experiences. What do we know about that quote? Why would he choose those specific words as his quote? Cody says, learn something new every day. Okay. So think about his experience as a child. Why would Einstein say that love is a better teacher than duty? I wonder how he felt about his teachers. Remember our reader mentioned that he disliked the rote discipline structure of school. Do you think he felt like those teachers loved what they did? Thumbs up. Got some comments. If you want to unmute your mic and share, you definitely can. It's a good point, Michelle. You need to love what you do to have a passion.
For me,
Go ahead.
it's more like since they all thought that he couldn't finish graduate or anything like that, then maybe if they all thought that he could do it, maybe if they showed him love, showing him like it doesn't matter that you're pleased with yourself, you can still graduate, you can still get someplace there, then you can teach him better. Maybe that's what he's trying to say.
Maybe so. Absolutely. Good thoughts. Anyone else? Can anyone else make a connection between how he might have been as a teacher based on his own experience? Let's take it even more to a more personal level. Do you think the kind of student you were and the kind of teachers you had influences how you teach for PLI? Can someone hop in chat or unmute your mic and share? Have your own experiences influenced how you are as a teacher? Maybe someone became a teacher because of their experiences. Would anyone like to share?
Well, my master's in special ed.
Yes.
So, so I realized that he has a way, easier way to make connection with kids that had the same way he was taught he had when he was a child. And I also have some learning disabilities, and I identify with my students who I notice that they have like a learning difficulty. And so it is important for us to identify the kid that is different, that he has a need, because teaching students that are smart is easy. We don't need to teach them, they learn by themselves. But we need to look the ones that need help, that need a hand to walk the way through.
Absolutely. And we're very grateful to have someone like you teaching with PLI for sure. And all of our students need us, right? Even those kiddos that seem to do well, we can definitely push them and extend things for them. That's part of what we do when we differentiate. Absolutely. And they have different things to learn, right? Because we all have areas that we're doing well in, that we succeed in, and then we all have areas that we're struggling in. And as teachers, we need to be there to support them. I love the stories that are coming in. Some of us became teachers because of great experiences. And I imagine some of us became teachers because of not so great experiences. Cody's sharing, I had a lot of lecture-driven teachers and homework-heavy teachers. So I try to structure my classroom where the work is completed in class. Watch my pre-med. I like it, Cody. I know, that's always a balance, right? Between school and then having them have time with family and to do those things in the evening and extracurricular activities. It's a hard balance. And so your own experience is kind of what impacts your decisions moving forward. Thank you guys for sharing. So one of the facts that no one mentioned was that Mr. Einstein was not known as a snappy dresser. Just was not his thing. However, if you notice in this photograph, he is PLI appropriate. So anyone observing him would give him all his credit. He's got his logo. He's got his logo on his shirt. And we want to assure everyone that your house shoes are totally appropriate for teaching with PLI. So if you had any questions about that, I want to assure you with this slide. As a little aside, oh, Miss Downey has her house shoes on now. Excellent. So just another thing about Mr. Einstein, he wore the same clothes over and over a lot, and he just wasn't concerned with his appearance. But he had a passion. He had a passion for theories, discovering how everything was interrelated. And one thing I learned from studying him with my son was actually that he was convinced, he wasn't able to prove this before the end, I don't believe. If someone knows about this, hop in chat. But he believed that all of his theories were interconnected. He believed that one theory governed our whole world, and that they were all interconnected. So Marcia, you're telling me that he is your hero. I bet you know more about that. That was so interesting to me. So what I'd like to do in closing in our discussion about teaching and love and duty, what do you love? What inspires you? This young man happens to be my son. When he was 9 years old, he was all about Einstein. And yes, that is his real hair. He was all about Einstein. When I was a student, I disliked history immensely. But my son loves it. It is his most favorite thing to study. And through his eyes, I have become inspired. And now I love history. And we are studying history from the beginning of time until current times now. And so he's kind of my inspiration. And I think of him now when I'm talking about history. So I want you guys to hop in chat now and tell me what inspires you. Someone mentioned passion earlier. Definitely is the difference between love and duty. There's a passion there. You're driven to do it. You just don't feel quite like yourself unless that's how you're spending your time. So I'm gonna hop in chat and see what. Oh, good, Marcia. Okay. All right, so I was on the right track with that. My son and I were studying that. This coincidentally is a history day, and he presented on Einstein's theory. And he's got his little suit on. It was a great day. Thanks, Ricardo. Feeling good about what you do. Yes, the desire to show students they really, oh, I love it, Carrie. So Carrie's passion is, hey, you guys really can do this. I love it. Miss Downing likes to travel, so she can definitely bring that to her history classes. It's one thing to look at a picture. It's one thing to read about a place. It's another to talk to someone who's been there, and it can give you the perspective of someone who's walked the streets, right? Real life scenarios. Yes, Michelle, absolutely. Passion is puzzles. Oh, okay, so Mari Carmen, you like to try and think through things. Absolutely. Marcia, your students inspire you. Personal connections. Many of the struggles many are faced with. Oh, that is so true. Especially true of the campuses we work with PLI, right? They're struggling to fill teacher needs because they are campuses that are in need in some area. Language arts, math, science, and it's so good to be there. Oh, Miss Downing told them about Morocco. Wonderful. Wonderful connection for World War II. Yes, Amy. Absolutely. That's one of the reasons I became a teacher. And I know you probably heard that from many colleagues. I love the aha moment. I love the moment when they realize that they are capable. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you all for sharing. So here's what I want to share with you guys. I just took you through a lesson where we had a bell ringer, we connected, and then we had a close, something for them to think about. So let's take a look. There was our bell ringer. And I want to share with you guys that there's 3 typical bell ringers that Shannon and I see that you might explore. One, of course, is something connected to your content. That's always good. A second one that you could do, and let's see how fast I can get this up, is something related to world events or current events. You could conceivably, oops, sorry guys, I blacked out for a second. Okay, so we were talking about backgrounds, we were talking about bell ringers, and we could conceivably do something like this. Let me stop sharing. For some reason, I'm having a little glitch here. It's okay. So what we could do is something like this. So we have content related where we have something up like I did that gets us thinking about our topic for the day, or we could do something related to world and current events like this. Hop in chat and tell me what you see behind me. What in the world is this? So this is another example of a bell ringer. A bell ringer is that way to greet everyone. And if you notice, I tried to tell every single person hello as they logged on, making a connection before we ever started our lesson. So I'm seeing chocolate, chocolate pudding, chocolate frosting, icing on the cake. I love it. Food day. I love it. So this is another way to bring in world events, because what you see behind me is actually Nutella. Today is World Nutella Day. Had no idea. And Nutella was actually, I was reading the history, was a happy little mistake. So you guys can read a little bit later about this, but anything just to connect with your students, to make them excited to log on. What in the world is my teacher doing for a bell ringer today? So this is another example. The third one I've been talking about a lot with my colleagues is that a bell ringer would be a great opportunity to bring up, excuse me guys, I'll get the right slide on here anyway in a second, to bring up something that they did not do well on an assessment. Like if you give them a quiz one day, the next day you're looking at those grades, they all miss number 2. Have something similar to number 2 up for a bell ringer and say, hey guys, give this one a try. I noticed y'all were struggling with this one. Give this one a try this morning and we're going to talk about it later. So 3 ways just to connect from the get-go with your students. Absolutely, Deborah. The flip side of that, I love it. Hey, this is a problem you guys did really well on. Can y'all make one up in chat? Show me an example. You could even use student problems and put them up. You can use student names in your problems. For students who are younger, that might be something as well. I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint. So the next thing we did, so that was our bell ringer. The next thing we did was I connected you guys to the content. I asked questions. What do you know? What do we not know? What's new information for us? So making those connections from the very beginning of your lesson. We want to involve them in the content. Instead of giving it all to them, you've got to involve them with it. That quote from Benjamin Franklin that Ms. Caruth sent out when we were talking about our informal observations, so important. The next thing also, we looked at connections. We made connections with the text together, more connections. And then guess what I did with you guys? Just out of the blue, we had some fun. You've got some kiddos falling asleep, make a funny comment, bring something in. Those of you that were kind of zoning out on me a little bit were like, whoa, what's that picture? So have fun. So you're your bell ringer, connect with them, have a little fun with them. And then I left you with something to think about. My close was, hey, what inspires you? So however you're wrapping up your lesson for the day, go ahead and I see Chad is blowing up here. Yes. Very good. Oops. Sorry, guys. You're probably much better at the technical aspect of this than I am. I was scrolling through the chat and I scrolled through you guys. All right. So the next thing we did, after we had a little bit of fun and I had you guys talking about the close, before you guys leave today, definitely want to tell everyone goodbye. This is the goodbye part. This is a picture from our fun Christmas party, and it's just a way to wrap up. Always tell your students goodbye before you close. Tell them how they did that day. Tell them what they're going to be studying the next day. Anything that kind of connects them at the end with you, so you're not just logging off. It's kind of a connected close. You just a little summary, a way to leave them with something to think about, wish them a good day, and say, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be doing blah, 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 fill in the blank. All right, I want to open it up for discussion now. If you want to hop in chat, you've got some questions, suggestions. Just in review, we're talking about connecting from the very get-go with the bell ringer that's either related to content, it's current events, world events. You could even pull up a local newspaper online and kind of keep in touch with what's going on for your students and put something up about a news article. Also, a great benefit for a bell ringer would be to put up something that they did well, like Deborah mentioned, or a problem they need more practice on when you're starting off. Just something fun and silly, but related in some way to make them excited to start. Greet all your students, of course, and then make those connections, asking questions from the very beginning, the middle, at the end. Leave them with something to think about as well. Okay, guys, I'm going to open up the mic. We're at 3:25 now, so we're right on time. Questions, struggles, challenges. With every strategy, there's going to be something that doesn't come together as quickly. So let's see. A real demonstration. Oh, that'd be great. Of a chemical reaction. My son and I were just studying what would happen if all the elements on the periodic table of elements were put together. So what do we do with students who don't want to participate, even if you keep calling their names? That's a tough one. And I've been talking a lot with teachers about that. And I think the more engaging you make your bell ringers, you make your connections, you're going to pull more in. Really put your heart into their interests. What are they interested in? That's where all those local things are going to connect you. There's all kinds of things, all kinds of tricks we have in our bag that we try. Reach out to your mentor, reach out to myself or Miss Shanna for specific, unique situations. But in general, if you're trying all those things, you've got a circle of influence. And this is a hard thing as teachers for us to understand. The kids that are logged on and working with you, those are the students that you teach. And so work with your TA to get them back on track. Obviously, you can use them for participation points, get them involved. And if you guys have ideas too for these questions coming in, please feel free to use chat like a discussion. If you see a question and you know something to try or a strategy, please give them a try. Let's see. Y'all are my kind of people. Miss Shanna. Okay. Let me just check in with the interpreter. Brittany, how is my pace? Do I need to slow down a bit? Okay. All right. Good to know. Let's see. And I love recognizing the positives. I'm just scrolling through the chat. And also, you notice when we were doing the reading, I allowed readers to volunteer. That's really important because you could have a struggling reader. If you force them to read in front of everyone, trust me, that's all they're going to be thinking about. They're not going to hear any of the content that you teach that day. So when you're reading, ask for those volunteers. If you know you have a struggling reader, definitely have them comment, answer the questions you're asking, but you might not ask them to read. So be careful with that one. Like the quizzes, sure, Deborah, absolutely. Polling is another great feature. We didn't use that one. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Peggy. That's that circle of influence, and definitely when that happens, and we experience that, right? That's real life. You've got to reach out to your CSS, let them know that's happening. Keep your CSS team members in the loop, guys. We don't want the campus telling them anything that they don't already know. So you guys share with them when students are checking out on you because it's going to affect their grades, right? Those things are going to happen. Absolutely. Yes, more rewards for those that participate, kind of like we're doing today. You guys all showed up, you participated with me, and we're doing a drawing. There's a lot I've been reading about on gamification in classrooms. This is an interesting concept, and initially I kind of dug my heels in like, no, we don't want it to make it but there's actually some ways to earn badges, earn credits. It's kind of an interesting thing, and we're going to be looking more into that as well. Oh, Tamara tried Nearpod. Awesome. Yes, we presented that at the beginning of our core department meeting. I'm so glad you tried that and it went well. Awesome. Some teachers send candy prize rewards. Yes. So I did some things with my TA. I tried to bill pay her. I didn't pay my bills. I tried to PayPal her. And she wouldn't, of course, accept the money, but she went out and got bags of candy. When we would do our quizzes or Jeopardy, the winners got peppermints or something. Peppermints are supposed to help you think a lot better in school, and so we did something fun like that. It meant a lot to them that I had arranged for them to have something because I wasn't with them. So that's a great point, Marcy. Thank you. Yes, Marcy, please.
I've been chatting some of the things I'm thinking of. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, so I put some of those in there. Some teachers had done, sent stuff to schools. Not all teachers can do that. That's fine. Some of the TAs have volunteered at times to give rewards themselves. In elementary, I used to do a bingo board that they'd earn a spot on the bingo board if, they did something, participated, and they usually don't. And then once the bingo board was full, I'd select, just like bingo, and that person would get a prize, pencils, stickers. Sometimes the schools can relate. And I not only did this at elementary, I did it at high school. So once I taught in elementary, I tried it at high school, and they liked it the same way. And then I've seen another teacher who let kids pick songs they wanted to hear, and they'd play that song during the warm-up. So if they, were participating, and then you, again, select a name, you get to pick the song. I will preview the song to make sure it's appropriate ahead of time. And then the next day in class, that song gets chosen. So it doesn't have to be monetary prizes, things that cost you money, but games, things outside. Be creative. There's all different things. And getting kids to participate don't always have to be by mic, but could also be by private chat as well. So those are just some of the thoughts I've seen.
Absolutely. And you guys can see on the back of my screen, one thing that I did, if I had everyone participating, they got to pick from three rewards at the end of the day. One of them was to put me in the dunk tank. So of course that was the first thing they chose. And the first thing I put up was this, and I would say, what? Is there something I should be worried about? That's that fun piece. Just have fun with them. Another day I said, hey, would you guys like to meet my brother? That'll be one of the rewards. My brother's here visiting. And they said, yes. I cut my video, and my son had dressed up for a history project, and I put on a beard, a mustache, and some glasses. And I came back on, and I was like, hey guys, this is Sherman Fisher, Miss Fisher's brother. And they were all like, these are sixth graders. They were like, Miss Fisher, it's you. I'm like, no, it is not. This is her brother. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Just have some fun with them. My dog happened to bark that day, of course, like we all try not to have happen, right? And so she became a reward. They said, can we just see Lucy at the end? And I said, if I have everyone with me, yes. And that my screen was filled. Also, another one of our teachers, Thomas Baran, has he lets his students decide his backgrounds. They create one, and that's the next background that he uses for the next day. I thought that was an amazing idea as well. Any other? I've got some more. Oh, yes, the students wanted to see snow, so you turned your camera. That's great. I had another teacher who said he showed them the ocean because he had for him a place on the beach on the ocean. And so I know, right? It's tough. Us virtual teachers. So anyways, he showed them the beach at the ocean. Absolutely. Kids begged to see my cat. Yes, yes. And so sometimes I would take a screenshot of the kids. I'd say, everybody smile. And then that was my background for the next day. Yes, they love to see the dogs. Yes. So find out what motivates them. The youngers, the older. I know secondary folks are like, gosh, these things would not work, but they're really kind of big kids in some ways, seriously. So we just got to find out what gets to them. Oh, poor cat. Oh, Andrea sings or dances. Hey, whatever it takes, right? So I love it, you guys. All of these things you're talking about help us jump off the screen, right? I've heard some teachers say that they approach their class as if they're right there with them. And I think that's wonderful. So you don't even pretend like there's a computer in front of you. You are standing in the room. And it's amazing. One of my main concerns when I started with proximity was, how am I going to make connections? I'm so used to tapping a shoulder or being nearby, or how's this going to happen? And it happens, guys. All we have to do is think about it a little differently. I had such great rapport with my class that my TA could step out for ARD meetings, and I had them all behaving. Now, this wasn't at the beginning, of course. We had to work through some things to get to that point, but it's possible. And all these things you guys are bringing up, are amazing ways to make those connections. Yes, so using the breakout rooms. I love that. Marcia, would you tell us more about that one? Would you unmute and tell us more?
Okay, so I had a student that we were studying the gravitational motion, and it's not a very exciting topic for many kids, especially if they're into arts. This was a kid who wanted to come in and just do his own thing. Basically, he actually wandered around the classroom. He didn't fall asleep, thankfully, so I invited him into a breakout room. I guess it was about the third week that I worked with him. And I said, well, what is it you like to do outside of class? You know, what do you intend to do? He's a senior, so what do you intend to do after high school? And he shared with me that he loves music. He played guitar. He wanted to, you know, pursue something in music. And I said, well, why don't you pursue something in music and physics? And of course, you know, how does he do that? So we got to talking. We were talking about planetary motion. I said, you know, back when I was 20, 30 years ago teaching, there were different songs that you heard on the radio about motion of the planets. You know, the Jupiter, Tears of Jupiter, Jupiter Drops or something like that was one of the songs. So I challenged him by looking up some songs, just any song that mentioned planets, and that piqued his interest. So he on his own took that sort of seed and decided to write a song about the planets, and then how they kind of move with one another using the theory of gravitation formula. So it worked. I had to stretch it a little bit, and I kept going back with him and asking, you know, well, what did you mean by this, or what did you mean by that, or could you clarify? And he now, well, I let go of that class a few weeks ago, but prior to that, he was working and he participated more. I mean, he wasn't 100%, but it was a lot more than what he was before. So it works. Just that private is like the connections we were talking about earlier.
Yes, absolutely. So breakout rooms are good for more than just differentiating instructions. Sometimes I had a kiddo who'd been out for a week, and so she was the first person I pulled into a breakout room. She was so quiet, she didn't want to talk to me, and I said, where have you been? I've missed you so much. And she didn't want to tell me, but she'd been in ISS for fighting, and she had fought a boy. And so I was like, well, I'm so sorry, but I'm glad you're here now, and here's what we're working on, you know. And we caught her up and everything was good. And when she realized that I wasn't going to judge her or treat her differently, she had been a student that was reluctant to join in with me. And once she realized that I wasn't going to make any judgments on her, that I was just interested in her learning and I had missed her, I said, I missed you so much. From that point on in school, she worked much harder, and she turned around a lot of her grades, quite frankly. Yes, we've got virtual stickers from Tamara. I love it. Yes, Mari Carmen, you got it. Let's meet separately outside the meeting because we have to use the same room. We don't think we have anything after this one though. But yes, if you guys want to stay longer, yes, after the end, definitely. Oh, so we're asking for, where did you download those, Tamara? If you could put that in chat, we would love that. Does anyone else have any questions or want to share? Miss Marcy, Shannon?
You can have Tamara share if she's
yes.
Is it accessible?
Yes, please do that. And some of you joined us later. I didn't get to say hello. Hello, Eleanor. Glad to see you. Miss Mac, are you ready?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm in the middle of picking up and doing all that stuff from school. Okay, so here's what I did. I went on and I just put stickers. I Googled stickers. And then I found just a bunch of them. I found good job, great job, awesome work. And I just keep them downloaded on my computer. So when you score a paper and you click on browse, and then so you score on the paper and when I do speed grade, you click on browse, you go into wherever you downloaded them, and then you click on the one you want to add. And then that's how I add a sticker to their work. So when they go in and they see a comment and I may say check for a sticker or awesome work, and they'll see a little icon down there, and I've added a sticker for them.
I love that.
Tamara, that's awesome. I'm going to ask for a favor.
Uh-huh.
Can you record yourself doing that once to share with the teachers so they understand? Because we're not all, some of us are more visual.
Okay.
So the next time you do it, will you just, record what you're doing and we'll share with everybody?
I sure will. And my stickers are just random thing. I just Googled, good happy notes or good notes. And that's all I do. And believe it or not, the kids absolutely love it. And I'll get a thank you. Oh, thank you for that sticker. And they'll say, awesome job today, or good try. Or, if like I had one kid, they didn't make a 70. And so I put on his sticker, try again. Came back, did the paper the next time, boom, he passed the paper like, we wanted him to pass it. So it's just the little things, they do mean a lot to them.
I love that.
All right.
Thank you, Miss Mack. That's wonderful. Anyone else have an idea they want to share that's been really successful? We'd love to hear about it. Miss Shannon, was that you?
Well, can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I just wanted to share who won the giveaway. So Michelle Sullivan, you were picked from the random name selector.
Ooh.
And what I wanted to do was show you what I used to pick the name.
Okay.
It timed out on me, so the names that are on there now are just generic. But this is what I wanted to pull up. You can use this in your classroom. It'll be a really, neat thing to do, especially if the kids have computers that have numbers on them. So this is just classtools.net. You just click on it, and then you can go in and edit the names. And then I just typed in everybody's name who was in the meeting. So I'm gonna just type in a couple. And then you click submit. And then you just click it.
Very cool.
And then it'll tell you who won or who was chosen to answer the question or for the gift card like we did tonight.
Excellent. Well, congratulations, Michelle.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for coming. Does anyone else have a question or want to share anything? Was this helpful today to kind of take you from the beginning all the way through of how to, from the very get-go, grab their attention, connect, and then close and leave them with something to think about? Yes, congratulations, Michelle. All right, Marcy, do you have anything else that we need to do before we sign off? Oh, you guys are so welcome.
Just remember that after this session, there is a question in PLI in Canvas under professional development. You want to make sure you go in and you do the question so that at the end of the year, when we give out certificates, we have a record that you have completed the post-assessment.
It's super quick, guys. It's 3 questions. You might even giggle here and there when you read your multiple choice. Don't tell Marcy I made it so easy. Shh.
And also we will upload the video from this. Once we get out, it takes some time for the video to collect. and get all the data and upload it. So it should be up by tomorrow if you do want to rewatch it or look at any of the suggestions. So we will make sure that is up there.
Absolutely. And some of you have asked if you could stay after. Email me and we'll meet in my room and we can talk more. Yes, and Shannon's telling you where you can find it on your card.
Shelly, do you want to put a link to your personal meeting in the chat?
Sure, I can do that.
And then everybody can meet you there.
Sure, or we can stay here, actually, because there isn't one behind us, right?
No, there isn't, so they can stay.
Okay, yeah, we'll just
stop the recording.
Sure. Okay, we are at this time going to stop. It's 3:45. Everyone's questions have been answered, except for those who are going to stay back. Oh, you guys are so welcome.
I will open the quiz in just a second. I didn't know there was a time limit on it, so just hang on.
Oh, I thought I opened it at 4. I'm so sorry. It's at 5.
Well, it's actually not 4 yet, so.
Yes, sorry guys. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. So Marcy's going to unlock that. I'm going to go ahead and end. I want to thank you guys all for coming. I enjoyed all of the stories that you shared with me, and I'm very fortunate to get to work with you guys. So thank you all. I'm going to go ahead and close. If you want to stay, I'm going to stop recording. If you want to stay, you may. Good night, everyone.